Caitlin Clark new product and collection with the new CC Nike logo will be dropping soon. We gonna get into all of it.
WNBA pick Caitlin Clark, her first pro game 10 days away, but even before she makes her pro debut, she has a major Nike deal on the line.
Just 2 minutes ago, Caitlin Clark dropped a bombshell that sent shockwaves through the entire basketball world. We're talking about a $50 million Nike deal that's making NBA superstars do double takes.
Finally here. It's finally here. The Caitlin Clark logo. I just realized I haven't even put on my
And WNBA veterans question everything they thought they knew about women's basketball. But here's the twist that nobody saw coming. She didn't just secure the biggest bag in
offensive stats. She's hitting more threes this season than Steph Curry did in his first MVP season.
NBA history for herself. She used her newfound power to completely rewrite the rules of the game, and what she did next will leave you speechless. The basketball world is still trying to process what just happened. Caitlin Clark, barely months into her professional career, just signed what might be the most game-changing endorsement deal in women's sports history. We're not talking about your typical rookie contract here. This is
Well, Caitlin Clark could be breaking another record, this time with an endorsement deal. The Associated Press says Clark will soon be signing an 8-year, $28 million contract with
full-scale takeover that's making everyone from LeBron James to Stephen Curry take notice. The new CC logo is already trending worldwide, and fans are losing their minds over sneakers that haven't even hit the shelves yet. But let's rewind and talk about how we got here, because the journey to this moment is absolutely wild. When the Associated Press first broke the story, they reported what seemed like an already incredible 8-year, $28 million contract with Nike.
Call a foul? Y'all gonna call a foul? Did you swallow your...
Basketball world collectively gasped. A WNBA rookie getting that kind of money? Unheard of. Unprecedented. Game-changing. But then Nike stepped forward and dropped the real bombshell. That $28 million was just the base. When you factor in performance bonuses, endorsements, and the full scope of the deal, we're looking at $50 million over 8 years. Let that sink in for a moment. $50 million. There are NBA veterans who've been grinding in the league for over a decade.
This is their best record in over 10 years.
Never sniffed that kind of endorsement money. But here comes Caitlin Clark, a rookie who hasn't even finished her first full professional season. And she's already locked into one of the biggest sneaker deals in basketball history. The audacity is breathtaking, and the timing makes it even more incredible. Think about this. She announced this deal just months into her professional career, right before the 2026 season kicks into high gear. Before she's even had time to fully adjust to the professional game, she's already commanding headlines and owning the narrative. That's not luck. That's pure star power. That's the kind of influence that transcends basketball and becomes cultural currency. And Nike didn't just throw money.
The new Caitlin Clark logo is out. She took to Twitter and said, tune in, logo collection coming.
At Caitlin Clark and call it a day. They handed her the keys to build an empire. The birth of the CC brand started with a simple post on social media that broke the internet. She dropped that sleek CC logo on Twitter, and within hours, fans were going absolutely crazy. The logo itself is fire, clean, modern, instantly recognizable. It's the kind of branding that screams generational talent. But the logo was just the beginning. Nike teased the CC3 sneakers launching in 2020.
Oh, that logo is fire. That logo is fire. Let's go. Let's go.
26, and the anticipation is already through the roof. We're talking about a complete merchandise line here. T-shirts, hats, pants, socks, everything you can imagine with that CC logo stamped on it. Fans are already lining up for products that don't even exist yet. That's the kind of demand that most WNBA players only dream about. The comparisons to
for, injuries or, coach it not being here for a couple games too. Like everybody's been through a little bit of adversity here. So I think just giving our group credit for being able to stick together and, know that whatever's in our locker room is really all we
Kobe Bryant's legacy aren't accidental. Kobe had his signature line, his Black Mamba brand, his cultural impact that went way beyond basketball. Now, Caitlin Clark is stepping into that lane with her own signature style and approach. It's a generational handoff that the WNBA should be celebrating every single day because she's single-handedly keeping the league relevant in ways they never imagined possible. And here's where things get absolutely insane. There were rumors about a first-release test run where 13,000 pairs of Caitlin Clark's Nike sneakers sold out in a single day. June 30th, 2025, 13,000 pairs, gone just like that. In women's basketball, those numbers are unheard of. When was the last time anyone cared this much about a WNBA player's shoes? Exactly. Never. Caitlin's merchandise is becoming a cultural phenomenon, not just a sports thing. But wait, because this story takes an even more incredible turn. At a Nike event in Indianapolis, everyone expected the typical celebrity endorsement rollout. All eyes on Caitlin, all the attention focused on her historic contract. Instead, she pulled off what might be the most unexpected assist of her entire career. She brought her teammate Sophie Cunningham into the spotlight and used her contract power to change Sophie's life forever. Let me paint this picture for you. Nike unveiled a custom Sophie player exclusive sneaker in Indiana Fever colors, complete with no backing down stitched on the heel, a phrase that perfectly captures Sophie's role as Clark's on-court bodyguard since day one. But this wasn't just a nice gesture or a PR stunt. Sophie Cunningham actually signed a sub-deal under Caitlin's Nike endorsement. Read that again, because it's absolutely unprecedented in WNBA history. Never before has a player used their endorsement clout to directly lift up a teammate like this. It didn't come from the league office. It didn't come from team owners. It didn't come from corporate sponsors looking for good publicity. This came straight from Caitlin Clark's heart and her understanding of what real leadership looks like. She basically said, if I'm eating, my teammate is eating too, and backed it up with action. That move alone shows you the kind of player and person we're dealing with. This isn't just about individual success or personal branding. This is about using platform and power to create opportunities for others. It's the kind of leadership that transforms entire leagues and changes how business gets done. But here's where the story takes a dark and frustrating turn, because while Caitlin Clark is out here building empires and changing lives, the WNBA itself is busy self-destructing. The league and the players' union have until October 31st, 2025 to ratify a new collective bargaining agreement, and sources close to the negotiations are already saying a deal looks increasingly unlikely. We're staring down the barrel of a potential strike or lockout that could cancel the entire 2026 season. Think about how absolutely insane that timing is. The WNBA is experiencing the biggest surge of attention and relevance in its history, all thanks to Caitlin Clark's impact. And the people running the show are about to blow it all up with boardroom politics and contract disputes. Only this league could take a generational talent who's bringing millions of new fans and somehow find a way to screw it all up. The players aren't asking for the moon here. Their demands are completely reasonable. Better revenue sharing, actual benefits that don't look like they came from a minimum wage job, roster expansion, so more talented players can make a living, and workplace standards that aren't embarrassing for a supposedly professional league. These are basic asks that any legitimate sports organization should be eager to provide. But instead of progress, we're getting foot dragging and penny pinching from ownership. Compare this to the NBA, where players receive about 50% of basketball-related income. In the WNBA, the salary cap grows at a pathetic fixed rate of 3% per year. 3%! That's not growth, that's insulting. It's like telling your star employees, congratulations, here's a tip for your troubles. And here's the part that makes this whole situation even more maddening. The money is absolutely there. The WNBA is sitting on an 11-year, $2.2 billion media rights deal. They're collecting $250 million expansion fees from new franchises in Cleveland, Detroit, and Philadelphia. This league isn't broke. They're just acting like they are when it comes to sharing revenue with the people who actually play the games. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark continues to prove her incredible value every single time she steps on the court. The 2025 All-Star Game drew 3.4 million viewers, the most watched game in league history. Arenas sell out whenever her name is on the marquee. Her jersey sales are breaking records. Her cultural impact is undeniable, and she's bringing levels of attention to women's basketball that seemed impossible just 2 years ago. Yet, while she's dragging the WNBA into mainstream relevance, the owners are busy insulting the very players who make the product worth watching. They offered what they called a generous pay increase of 4 times the current amount, which sounds impressive until you realize the players immediately recognized it as exactly what it was, a slap in the face disguised as generosity. When the structure stays broken, bigger numbers don't fix the fundamental disrespect. Stars like Breanna Stewart and Nafisa Collier have already gone public, calling the negotiations a waste of time. When your biggest names are openly saying the process is pointless, you know something is fundamentally rotten in the system. These aren't troublemakers or malcontents. These are the faces of your league telling the world that ownership isn't negotiating in good faith. The worst part of all this is the timing. Caitlin Clark is building a cultural empire that extends far beyond basketball. She's proving that influence isn't just about scoring points or collecting stats. It's about using your platform to create meaningful change. The $50 million Nike deal isn't just about the money. It's a blueprint for how power works in modern women's sports. She's already demonstrated this philosophy when she elevated Sophie Cunningham, forcing Nike to market authenticity and loyalty instead of the usual cookie-cutter corporate messaging. She's rewriting the rules of what leadership looks like in women's athletics, showing that true stars lift others up instead of hogging all the spotlight for themselves. But here's the crushing reality. Her prime years could be completely wasted if the WNBA can't figure out how to handle basic contract negotiations. The shadow of a work stoppage is hanging over everything. Fans don't care about the technical details of revenue sharing or legal jargon. All they know is they want to watch Caitlin Clark play basketball. And if the league can't deliver that simple request, it's game over for everyone involved. Imagine the absurdity of this situation. The one player who turned the WNBA into must-watch television, the rookie who's selling out arenas and breaking ratings records while dropping shoes that fly off shelves faster than they can be restocked, could have her career derailed by incompetent leadership and short-sighted business decisions. This is supposed to be the golden era of women's basketball. This is supposed to be the moment when all the years of building and growing finally pay off with mainstream success and cultural relevance. Instead, we're watching millionaire owners and billion-dollar corporations argue like children while the clock ticks toward a potentially devastating shutdown. The WNBA has exactly 2 paths in front of it right now. Path number 1 leads to a new golden era with Caitlin Clark as the face of a thriving, profitable, culturally relevant league that finally gets the respect and attention it deserves. Path number 2 leads straight into irrelevance with a lockout that proves once and for all that this league simply cannot handle success when it's handed to them on a silver platter. The stakes couldn't be higher, and the choice couldn't be clearer. Caitlin Clark has done her part. She's brought the attention. She's broken the records. She's signed the deals. She's changed the culture. Now it's up to everyone else to prove they're worthy of the moment she's created for them. The basketball world is watching, and history is waiting to see which path this league chooses to walk down.